what's up YouTube? I'm going out for a little bike ride. I'm going to warm up the oil inside this bike, because when you change it, you really don't want to have some really cold oil because it's going to drain so slow. So I'm heating it up, getting it nice and warm, so when I drain it, it's going to come out quicker. And then that's basically that's why I'm riding around. But before I took off, I checked my tire pressure, and that's just another thing I like to do when I change my oil, is I check my tire pressure. Everything's good, so I didn't need to go to the gas station and air it up, because I don't have an air compressor at home, and that's just what I like to do. So I checked it last week, and I aired it up last week because it was 10 under, so I decided just to go do that. I'm going to go ahead and flip a UE because I don't really need to go anywhere else. I like to buy my oil, and I like to buy a lot of things on Amazon. I didn't want to buy locally because locally, I'm going to do this real quick, locally it's very expensive, and Amazon, I buy it in kind of bulk. I buy a box full of oil, basically. It's 6 1-quart bottles of oil, and then I buy two oil filters while I'm there. And I don't want to buy it, like I said, locally, and it just costs a lot of money. And I always get the one with the nut on the front, and I'm going to show you why that helps out a little bit when I go in the garage real quick and change this oil. It's very simple. I highly recommend you guys do this. It costs over $200-something to go to Harley to change my oil. And I mean, of course they do a little bit more. They check everything else, and that's another reason why I'm going to go ahead and, after this oil change, go and take my bike to Harley and get everything checked, just cause. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and change my oil, and I'm gonna enjoy it. And by enjoy it, it's gonna be really hot because I'm gonna keep the fan off so you guys can hear what I'm saying. I'll see you guys when I get there. All right, I'm back into the garage. Everything's all heated up. Next step is to just drain the oil, and there's a drain plug underneath. I'm going to get the camera underneath there, and then I'll show you kind of where to go from there. Alright, so now we're underneath the bike. It's right behind, or right in front of the rear tire, this little plug right here. When you look down at your bike, you'll find it actually sticks out pretty far. That's the oil drain plug. All you need is a flathead screwdriver, because there's a tension ring on it, and when you undo that, it should still stay in place. And then you have to pull the plug out, and be careful, because once you do that, you're gonna have a lot of oil on the ground. So make sure you get your oil pan ready, and then we'll go from there. And make sure you don't take the ring all the way off. You just need to take it off just a little bit, or loosen it just a little bit, because it's gonna be a pain to get it back on once you're trying to stop the oil. Be careful, the oil is probably gonna still be warm, so just don't burn yourself. And I like to use nitrile gloves, just to keep my hands from being nasty. There it is. You're gonna let that drain for just as long as it needs, actually, to be honest. And then after that, get ready to change the oil filter. So at this point, right when I pull the plug, you can either do it right before or right after, but I like to just do it whenever I can. If I forget to do it before, I do it right after. I take the oil cap off. That way it creates an opening and better flow. Because it's already almost gone. This is quite literally done right now. And there's the plug with the flathead screwdriver. And make sure you leave the dipstick and the oil cap on something nice and clean. So right now I'm keeping it on a rag, and then I'll wipe it off and make it clean before I insert it back in. So right now I'm gonna go and change the oil filter. I'll show you how to do it real quick. All right, so the main thing you wanna do before you even start touching it is you wanna pack this in full of rags or paper towels, and be careful, it's probably still a little warm when you took it out for a ride. So if it is still a little warm, go ahead and just let it cool off just a little bit. I highly recommend getting a really crappy one to kind of get underneath, because I can tell you right now, from my first time ever doing this, yeah, I forgot to do that, and it was a nasty mess. Alright, so what I'm using right here is the 11/16 wrench, and all I'm going to do is take it off nice and easy. And this is what I was talking about, having the nut on the outside. Some of them don't have that, and you have to actually get like a compression ring and turn it. It's a lot harder. It looks cleaner, but to be honest, no one really cares because it's just a normal Sportster. So all you do is undo it, and that's when the oil is just going to start coming out. There's no way of controlling that, so after you do an oil change, I highly recommend washing your bike and getting a little bit of degreaser and cleaning it off. So I'll show you what it looks like. And if you did it correctly the first time, there we go. Try to get it off now while it's still warm. Watch all the electronics. That's the main thing you want to do, is protect the electronics. All this stuff can come off. I have my new K&N air filter wrench off one. It's brand new. What you want to do is you want to get some oil on the ring, fill it up about a quarter to halfway full of the good oil. That way when you put it on, it'll kind of be ready for it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. This is the oil I use. It's the Castrol Power R6 V-Twin 4T SAE 20W50. And it even says for use in Harley Davidson engines, transmissions, chain cases, and all that stuff. It's the full synthetic motorcycle oil. I've been using this. I like it. I'm probably not going to change because, to be honest, it's relatively cheap and it works pretty well. I know some people use different kinds, you know, like that purple bottle. You can use that too if you want. So what I'm going to do is just pour a little bit. So at that point, it's about a quarter full. I got oil on the O-ring. I'm going to go ahead and screw it on. So right now I put on a little, just hand tight. I'm going to just give it a nice little, that's it. That's all you have to do. It's like an 1/8 turn. Got the kids outside. All right, now that that's done, everything should be done with the oil over here. Should be completely drained out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the plug back in. I'm gonna pour 2 quarts of oil in, and then I'll show you what to do next after that. All right, now that I put the plug back in, I moved my drain pan off to the side. I'm not gonna throw it away yet. I'm not gonna do anything with it yet. Once I pour in all these quarts, I'm going to dump the old oil into those and dispose of it properly. But I put the plug back in. I'm going to go ahead and start pouring in oil, new oil, good oil, and we'll see how this goes. You just pour it directly in. It's not that big of a deal. You don't need a funnel. It's a wide enough mouth. You want to do it nice and slow anyways. Alright, so just 2 quarts for now. And what you want to do is, I know it seems kind of redundant, but you want to take the drain plug out, let the oil go all the way bottom, drain out just a little bit, plug it back in real quick. So at this point, I put the plug back in. I'm going to put the cap back in. I'm going to start it up just for 10-15 seconds, let the oil circulate through the engine, and then go ahead and put the last quart in and start it up again for about 10 seconds, kind of get an idea and look at everything, see if there's anything leaking, see if there's any issues. That sounds like there's any issues. The reason why you want to take the plug out, let the new oil drip all the way through, is that if you don't, you're going to create a hole or an air bubble, and it's going to cycle through the engine. And from what I understand, it's going to mess things up. It even says it, I think, in the operation manual or the Sportster manual. So go ahead and let the oil drip out just a little bit to where you see the clean oil. Plug it back in real quick. You're going to get oil over your hands. You know, you just got to do it, and then start the rest of the process. Alright, sounds good. Right when you turn it on, it's obviously going to have the oil indicator on it saying that it has low oil. When you turn it on, it's going to rev really high, and then it's kind of going to calm down once it gets all the oil in it. Now we're going to put in the last quart because it takes 3 quarts. At that point, you're pretty much done. Go ahead and take your bike out for a wash, clean up your garage, and call it a day. That's basically it.